Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's Julia Haetzel of the women's golf team. Julia, big weekend for yourself and for your team. You had a nice 2 under 69 in the final round of the ODAC Women's Golf Championship to come from behind and win the individual title while also helping your team capture the team title as well. Just take us through the whirlwind that was Sunday.
Yeah, I honestly, it didn't really hit me until after I was done. I was just kind of anxious my whole round. I knew I was playing well, but I didn't know I was in the lead because I don't like to look. But yeah, I felt like I could breathe when I was done, but in the moment, I definitely wasn't aware of what was happening.
Your team captures another conference championship. You had 4 people in the top 7. All 5 of you finished within T11 or better. Just the consistency from top to bottom across your guys' lineup. What makes that so special?
It's really awesome because I feel like it helps us kind of go off of each other. We're all playing our best because we're being supported by each other. So, I mean, I think it's really cool. I'm proud of everyone.
Just to kind of go back, I guess, a little bit on yourself here as well. You said you didn't like to look at the lead. When you finally finished and you realized, okay, this is a legit possibility that I might win here, just take us through the aftermath of celebrating with your teammates, some of the other stuff that occurred once things were finalized.
Yeah, so I finished. I looked at the leaderboard. The player who was right behind me still had a hole to play, and if she'd birdied it, we would have tied. So I was still kind of anxious up until then. But my teammates were coming in. We were all kind of finishing at the same time because we played shotgun. And they were kind of starting to hype me up. I was like, guys, I'm not ready to celebrate yet. But then when Megan finished, she came off the green and she cried, and it was just really special.
So now up next for you guys, NCAA's next week down in Florida. What are you working on this week to prepare yourself for next week's competition?
Just kind of the same stuff, making sure my swing is a little bit more dialed in. It wasn't really that great this weekend, so it was more my putting I was relying on, making sure that stays in good shape, and just kind of hanging out with the team, making sure we have fun together still.
She's Julia Haetzel of the women's golf team and one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Julia, thanks for joining us, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Joined by Pierce Robinson of the men's golf team and one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Pierce, last weekend at the ODAC Championship, a second-place finish for yourself on the individual leaderboard, but it was highlighted by a program record, 8 under 64 in the opening round. Just take us through day one.
Yeah, so day one, I didn't do anything special warming up. I thought it was going to be just an average day. And then I kind of went out there and started hitting the ball really well, made everything I looked at, and not really any mistakes. And next thing I know, I shot 64. So it just kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest.
For yourself, to follow up a big round like that, the next day you come back, you shoot 2 under 70, but just trying to keep that same level. Obviously, 8 under is maybe not attainable every day, but to be able to kind of bounce back and put together another good couple days, knowing you still have 2 full rounds left, how do you go about kind of leveling yourself back down and balancing yourself for the rest of the way?
Yeah, the temptation is to try to stick to everything being the same and just do exactly the same things you did the day before and just try to, it's almost like a superstition, but you just have to accept it and then forget about it. And that's what I, tried to do after that round is, I processed it, and then I just completely forgot about it, which I think I did fairly well. And I think that's key to not get caught up in that the next day.
As a team, a tie for second place finish. As a group, when you assess how you guys did as a team, what do you like most about your team's performance?
I really like the way we've come together. I think there's cohesion, and I think that we've got a consistent starting lineup, and I really like that. And there's just so much consistency right now. Everybody is playing pretty well, and it's just going to be a matter of taking that and going to the Nationals with it.
And next up, NCAA's in about 2 weeks' time. It's one thing or maybe a few things you're working on in the couple weeks lead up here to make sure you're games in good form come 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, I'm hitting my irons really well and putting really well. So, I mean, I'm just going to continue, maintaining those and practicing those. But my chipping is the one thing I'm really working on right now. Wasn't up to par at ODACs at all. It hasn't been in the last few months. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And if I get that ready, I think I have a really good chance, and I think the team has a good chance at nationals to, put up some really good numbers.
It's Pierce Robinson of the men's golf team and one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Pierce, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck in a couple weeks.
Thank you.